with the Bucks win over the Magic today in Game 5. The Eastern Conference semifinals is set. In one matchup, we got the Raptors and the Celtics. In another matchup, we got the Bucks and the Heat. I'm going to go over who I think is going to win in each series. Yeah. Okay. Raptors Celtics. Now this one, both of them, first of all, I want to say are going to be really, really good series. Really good series. They're really interesting matchups. Before I get into what I think is going to happen in this series, Celtics have won all of these games, and they have been handily. A couple of them were a little bit close, but yeah, the Celtics kind of took advantage of this series. One of the concerns for this series is Kyle Lowry. When is he going to return? It was reported that he had a hamstring thing, which is going to be, I believe it's a hamstring, and he's going to be out for a little while, and it's undisclosed at this time how long he's going to be out. That's going to be very key in this series. Gordon Hayward, he might return in the series, but it's very unlikely he's going to return in this series. He was out for 4 weeks. So yeah, Celtics are going to be without Gordon Hayward, and the Raptors are going to be without Kyle Lowry. One of the notable things is how Siakam does in the series, especially because Jaylen Brown is one of the better defenders against him. He's only 5 players have defended him better according to NBA.com. Another thing that I would watch to see is the transition game for the Raptors, because in the half court they're not that good. The Raptors are, especially without Lowry out. Also, the Celtics have good defensive wings, so it's going to be hard to just get in that half court setting to start getting some buckets. Honestly, this is a very tough series to pick, but because Lowry is going to be out, I think it's going to be a huge difference in the series. I have the Celtics in 7 games, but this is going to be a really good series to watch, and it's hard to pick who's going to win this one. And I wouldn't be surprised if the Raptors win this series. But yeah, it's gonna be definitely going 6 or 7 games, something like this. This is not gonna be a quick series. Okay, so here we go. Next one is the Bucks Heat. Now this one is gonna be really interesting. Why? Because the Heat have a lot of good defenders to throw at Giannis. You got Bam Adebayo, you got Crowder, you got Iggy, Butler. Butler's a little inside, and Olynyk maybe can. I'm just thinking Olynyk can because Giannis is kind of like a modern day Shaq with a better 3-point shot, and Shaq's a little more dominant. But in my opinion, I think he was a little more dominant. But yeah, Giannis is kind of like a modern day Shaq. One of the keys for the Heat, because I do think they will be able to limit Giannis somewhat. Giannis is a beast. You're going to contain him. Contain's the better word here. I do think they're going to be contain him somewhat. Like they're gonna let him score like 30 points instead of 40 points. Or not like force him or yeah. But yeah, I think that's gonna be one of the keys for the Heat is that they'll have to stop the Bucks guards, especially the guards from 3-point like Wesley and Korver. They're gonna have to stop Korver. If they can expose Korver on the defensive end, they can get him out of the series. And that'd be huge for them. Wesley Matthews as well. He's a better defender. But if they can stop their 3-point shooting, is going to be huge. One key thing for the Heat will be offensively, if Duncan Robinson can hit 3. In Game 4, he was struggling a little bit from 3. The Pacers played better defense on him, but he was still struggling a little bit. If he can get hot from 3, you can't really stop him. What comes to mind when I think of him is like, you know that meme on NBA Twitter where it's like, Steph Curry, Ray Allen, they're all like looking down, like the Avatar meme. Yeah, it's hard to describe, but I think you guys know what I'm talking about. But yeah, Giannis, he's very had 33 in the last meeting. Now look, why do I think the Heat are going to be good against them defensively? Because in one meeting he had 33 points. But again, you want to have him to get, instead of 30, you want him to have 40. Instead of 40, you want to have him to have 30, which is kind of what you want there. In another meeting, Giannis had a pretty bad game. He only had 13 in that one, so so the Heat can definitely defend him very well. And this was after they had acquired Crowder and Iggy and Andre Iguodala. Now, you're going to need, for the Bucks, you're going to need Middleton to get hot. He was struggling throughout this series a little bit, or throughout the Magic series a little bit. He's averaging 14 points per game. But I mean, I would personally want him to score a couple more points. Yeah. One of the things I would watch out for is the health of Jimmy Butler. Um, Again, I mean, it's not like a huge concern. He's scheduled to play game one, but um, he said in one of his shoulder was like bothering him after game four. Obviously, that was like a Wednesday, so the game's gonna be a couple days from now. But yeah, that's obviously something you gotta watch for. So I would say something small to watch for that would be like a huge concern. Also, one thing from a coaching perspective, the Heat. So Christian Nunn had a good game, and obviously he'll probably be in the Bucks series if no matter what he had to get. Are they going to keep 10 guys in rotation, or are they just going to go straight with 9? Because 9 traditionally is the traditional amount of traditional amount of players you have in a playoff game for if you're yeah. But yeah, that's a concern. They might just keep it like 10 guys in rotation because the Heat have the Bucks have a very fast pace of play. They have the fastest play in the league, so defending them it's going to be pretty tough. I was tempted to go with the Heat on this one, but I really do think Giannis is just unstoppable. So I would say Bucks in 6 games. But I mean, I could totally see the Heat winning this series. And that's really it. Yeah.